Top Glove Corp's Executive Chairman Tan Sri Lim Wee Chai says the group is expecting its 28 factories in Klang, which were ordered to shut down amid a spike in COVID-19 cases, to be back up and running in 2 weeks. In a virtual media briefing today, the group denied claims made by HR Minister M. Saravanan that its workers were found to be living in deplorable conditions. ED Lim Chong Wan claims that the hostels were in good condition during the minister's visit recently and that Top Glove is seeking clarification from the ministry on the matter, according to reports. Wee Chai also assured that the gloves produced by the company are not contaminated with the coronavirus. The head honcho of the world's largest glove maker stressed that all glove products were manufactured within a controlled environment that is highly sterile and that its employees are equipped with PPEs. Senior Minister for Security Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today said that Top Glove is currently the biggest contributor to the country's COVID-19 positive cases. He added that a government task force comprising local authorities and public health officials has been set up to oversee the screening and quarantine procedures of Top Glove's factory employees based in Selangor. Although the criticism remains about its working conditions, Top Glove estimates its FY21 dividend yield to exceed 6% as it expects demand for rubber gloves to remain strong. Dogged by selling pressure today, Top Glove was the only one among the top 4 glove makers on Bursa Malaysia to end the day in the red. The counter closed 2.2% or 15 cents lower at 665 for a market capitalization of 54.5 billion ringgit. Telecom Malaysia's 3Q net profit grew 26% year-on-year to 329.4 million ringgit, partly due to a shift towards working from home amid the pandemic. This was despite a 5.7% drop in quarterly revenue from 2.85 billion ringgit to 2.69 billion ringgit. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, however, net profit improved by 20% from 274.7 million ringgit, while revenue was up 3.8% from 2.59 billion ringgit. TM said the sequential increase in revenue was thanks to higher revenue from voice, internet and data services, while lower operating costs helped to bolster the telco's net profit. In a statement, TM Group CEO Imri Mokhtar said Unify gained momentum, with the number of subscribers climbing 6.3% to 1.65 million, while its total broadband customer base stood at 2.26 million. TM said its network remained stable throughout the conditional MCO despite traffic utilization surging between 30% and 50% in March to November. The telco invested 15% of its capital expenditure of 400 million ringgit during the third quarter on network optimization. Putrajaya has agreed to rebrand the Special Affairs Department as the Community Communications Department, which will have different roles and functions, Bernama reported. According to Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, the main objective of Jaikom was to create two-way communication between the government and the people. Specifically, the goal is to convey accurate, authentic and wise government information as well as to hear the public's feedback. He was refuting Bayan Baru MP Sim Sersin's allegation that Jaikom would be a propaganda agent, stressing that its Director General would be IT savvy and not be appointed among the politicians. Saifuddin says, under my watch, Jaikom would not be a propaganda machine. Sime Darby Property posted its second straight quarterly loss in the third quarter of FY20 with a net loss of 355.26 million ringgit. The weaker performance was due to the 337.1 million ringgit impairment charge for its 40% share in the Battersea Power Station project after the pandemic impacted delivery. SDP added that during the quarter, it also wrote off inventories in the property segment amounting to 97.8 million ringgit. Revenue in sharp contrast more than doubled quarter-on-quarter to 592.63 million ringgit from 288.23 million ringgit. Nevertheless, the group declared its first interim dividend for FY20 of 1 cent per share. Group MD Dato' Azmi American said SDP booked in total sales of 1.3 billion ringgit in the 9 months of FY20 and expects to exceed its FY20 target of 1.4 billion ringgit on the back of the home ownership campaign. On Outlook, SDP is proactively assessing the value of its assets, including its investment in Battersea to ensure resilience amid challenging times. UMW Holdings' net profit in 3Q slipped 8.2% to 101.28 million ringgit from 110.29 million ringgit a year ago, in line with the decrease in revenue. Its board's filing showed that top line was down 7.7% year-on-year from 2.89 billion ringgit to 2.66 billion ringgit. UMW says this was mainly due to lower sales in all its business segments following the implementation of the Recovery MCO. Amid the pandemic, UMW said that it will continue to focus on strengthening its core businesses and implementing its strategic cost optimization initiatives to improve business performance and productivity. Its automotive segment, for instance, is expected to see better sales for the remainder of the year as consumer sentiment gradually improves following the economic stimulus measures announced by the government. Its subsidiary, UMW Toyota Motor, also revised its sales target upwards from 45,000 units to 53,000 units.